today I'm going to be planting my avocado seed into soil. I have a row of different stages of what the seed looks like once you start putting it in water. So the first thing I did was I put three toothpicks into a seed with the sharper tip or the pointier tip of the seed on the top and the rounder tip on the bottom. So you insert the toothpicks, like three toothpicks like this, into the pit, and you put it in to the water. So obviously this wasn't done right now. This was done a little bit before. This was about 4 weeks ago, and it's grown pretty quickly. It was really warm outside, so this seed grew very fast, and it's rooted, and this is what it looks like after about 4 weeks. Sometimes it takes about 8 weeks for this to happen. It really depends on the seed, or it depends on how warm the environment is. Also, I found that when I tried doing this with inorganic seeds, they actually didn't come out. I tried two, and those two didn't come out, and then all the other ones that you see here are organic avocado seeds. So that might be an interesting thing to keep in mind. So this is what it looks like after a few weeks, and then the next step is after that little root comes out, a little sprout shoots up on the top, and it grows like this. So this one here is about 3 months old. This seed took a little bit longer to get to the stage. It was slower than the other seed. But yeah, this is this next step after the root comes out. It gets bigger, it gets longer, and then on the top the sprout gets bigger, and a few little leaves are coming out from the top. And then this is when it really has grown as much as it can in water. If you look at there's a little bit of soil in the water. That black thing is soil. So the root is pretty long. There's different roots that are coming out from the side. The leaves are pretty big. And this little one is probably 2.5 months old, and it hasn't grown for a few weeks. So I think it's time to plant it in soil. And what I did in order to not shock it when I'm planting it in soil is I put a little bit of soil into the water for about a week. So it's pretty accustomed to the soil. It has a bit of soil in its water. And now today I'm going to be planting it in soil. So what I have here is a pot, and it's just potting soil. You can mix different soils, like some people mix different soils to have a more nutritious soil, but I'm just going to do it with regular potting soil. I'm just going to take the root. I take the toothpicks out. To be careful not to disconnect it. So this one's not really coming out easily, so I'm just going to let it be. I don't want to damage it. So I'm just going to make way. I might have to actually just scoop it up with my hand because this is a pretty long root. It's messy. Okay, like this. And I'm just going to the soil around. There's another plant in the soil, so there's a bit of roots, but it should be fine. That. I'll take the toothpicks out later when it's stronger, but this is what it looks like. You have to make sure that the pot has a hole in the bottom, because you have to make sure that the water drains out of the pot. And then after you pot it, you have to give it a bit of water to let it drink, and that's about it. is a 2-month update after I repotted the plant, the avocado seed in the pot. So this is the smallest plant. As you can see, it's grown little leaves. This has made roots and has some leaves here. And yeah, so it's growing. This is the one that had very small leaves. It's now has a lot more roots, and I've put a little bit of soil in the cup so that the roots start getting used to the soil. And in a couple of days, after a bit of getting accustomed to the soil, I'm gonna plant it in a pot. And this is the third pot. This is the one that we repotted. So this plant wasn't doing well for a long time. It started getting the tips of the leaves started getting all fried up and brown, and all the lower ones, this one and the other ones, the lower leaves started getting fried up at the tip. I tried many different things trying to figure out how this could be fixed. All I found out was that the plant was in shock and there was nothing I could do, until I found an article that said the frying at the tips might be due to extra salt in the soil, and one way to fix that is to run a lot of water through the soil, put the pot in the sink and the water go through the soil and wash some of the salt out, and it definitely helped. These new leaves are not fried at the tip, and they started getting a lot bigger after I started giving the plant a weekly or like every 10-day bath, and the plant is looking good. So the tip with the repotting that I learned is be very gentle when you're repotting the plant. The roots are very sensitive, so when you're doing the repotting, make sure that you do it in a very gentle way, not harm the roots, and make sure the soil has the right pH and it's the right soil for avocado.
And one more important thing that I learned from my experience is really giving your plant a good drink of water after repotting it. Putting your pot in a sink or wherever you may be, and just let water go through the soil and let the roots absorb as much water as they can right after they're repotted. This really has helped my plants every time I have repotted them ever since I did it the first time, and I highly recommend that you guys do the same.